Okay, good afternoon. Sorry, I was just wondering why there was something on my screen for. Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. It is the Monday the 15th. Market has officially opened. Best of luck this week. So I'm just looking for a possible lower high here, just on an evaluation. Got a channel up there with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So, Karina, good morning to you. So, it's been quite a bullish. We've broken all-time highs again, and this thing just looks like it wants to keep going up. Okay, I'm just trading an evaluation on an NQ. I just got to be careful not to click the wrong button. I shouldn't do that, really. Straight Lines Tattoo, how you doing, buddy? So I've been computer shopping today. Well, planning. I'm updating my PC. I've had it 4.5 years now, to be honest with you. And it's done me proud. But I've just been doing a little bit of research about what benchmark I should have. And one thing I'm noticing, I'm getting a lot of slippage lately. And I didn't realise that could be down to the speed of your PC. When you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it? The price you order it or the price you get in, obviously the speed of your computer, internet, bunch of other things. Now, my internet's super quick. Exponential, how you doing, buddy? But my computer now benchmarks at, I think, 21,000. Now, I've looked at, I think it's Easy Computers over in the UK. They reckon bare minimum you should be benchmarking at 25,000, ideally over 60,000. So I've been sort of shopping around for a PC. I built the last one 4.5 years ago, so it's much cheaper. It'll save me about £800 to build it myself. So I've been looking at, I think probably the best value and what benchmarks probably best is a Ryzen. I'm looking at the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. 64 gig of DDR5 RAM, a good quality RAM. I'm not going to go for super expensive graphics card, but I do need a reasonable graphics card because I got 4 monitors and there's lots of stuff on them. So I'm going for the RTX. I think it's 5070. Obviously, you got the 5070 Ti and the 5090 where price goes up, but it's quite reasonably priced, this, and a 2 terabyte hard drive. So just good quality components. Now that will cost me about 2,900, just under 2,900, by around about 2,100 to build myself, which is pretty good actually. But yeah, it's just starting to get a little bit slow now. It's taking longer and longer to start up. And obviously there's a lot of stuff on it, so I think it's about time I updated. So I'm obviously making sure everything is compatible. Obviously there's that issue, isn't it? Making things certainly compatible, making sure everything can fit in the case, and so on and so forth. Leg and a leg. This looks like it's coming down. So
Order filled.
This is, if you've heard something, it's just an evaluation.
Target filled.
Right, that's a quick $1,500 on an evaluation. That's what I took there. We got 2 legs up there. This thing looks like it's coming back on the ES, so quite a bearish bar. I jumped in just as it was finishing and just picked that small amount up for a quick $1,500. So if I can do that again, that'll work. See if we get a lower high there. So this looks like it's coming back to the EMA. So we've got a channel here with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So I'm guessing it's more than likely going to get back to the
Order
EMA. So
filled.
I'm going to
Target filled.
Okay, just another. Now that looks to me like it's pulling back and it's probably going to come down. So I picked it at the high and I just took a little bit more. If I can get another $800, that will sort that out. So about 22, something like that. Little Hammer, how you doing, pal? So volume's quite low over. I'm guessing it's probably to do with rollover from what I can gather. Most people, I don't know about you guys, have you rolled over? Have you onto the December contract?
Order filled. Target filled.
Okay, another couple of $100 on that one.
Order filled.
Let's just get a little bit more. Come on.
Target filled.
Okay, we're there. That's another one passed. 3,000. Take away 3 lots of 10 contracts. So that's what, 10, 40, 120. That's more than past that one. So I can get rid of that. It's another one passed. So shut that one down now. I don't need it. It's easy to pass them on the NQ. The thing moves quite quick. And if you can just work out what's going on, this looks like a leg down to me. So I'm guessing it's going to come down. So I took it when it had just pushed up. Usually it'll push up, trap a few longs and then come down. So there is a lower high here.
Order
I'm going
filled.
to take that. Now I'm only going to go to the EMA. So got a channel break, new high, lower high. I just want to go for 2 points, I think. Bearish bar, lower high. Come on, drop down. It's not looking so good, is it? I'm going to get out of this. Mind you, it should do. Let's just leave it. Possible failure there, so it needs to finish bearish though, really, to take it as a failure. So let's see how it finishes. Come on, come down.
Stop filled.
Damn it. Okay, we're out of that one. That's a quick loss. Right, hold on a second. Why? Hold on a second. Why have I not lost any money? Only on one account. That's strange.
Order submitted.
I've only traded on one account. Why didn't that work? It's not a bad thing. That's strange.
Order cancelled.
1110. Replicanto isn't copying this for some reason. Strange. For some reason, Replicanto didn't copy my trades. It's not a bad thing. It just means I only lost $125 on one account. But why isn't that working? Okay. I haven't rolled over on the... I've rolled over manually here, but not on the ES. Ah. Okay, so that's why. Let me just buy it.
Order
Should work
submitted.
now. Ah, yeah, okay.
Order
So,
cancelled.
I got quite lucky there. I forgot. I never switched it over. I never switched it over on Replicanto when it shows instrument. I had it at the old contract. So I did myself I kind of got lucky there. I saved myself to, let's have a look. Did I lose 130 after fees? So I go for a little bit more on there. So 230. I saved about $1,800 there by that mistake. So it makes a change for a mistake to actually save you. So that's good news. Yeah, I've spoke to a few on Dan's Discord and all they're changing, I think. Someone's put rollover, Dan's gone, yeah, so he's looked at the volume on the December contract. There's a little bit more, there's not much more to be honest with you, but he's rolled over. Marco's rolled over. So I think if those two rolled over, most will. So I tend to follow what they're doing. Yeah, so I'm surprised that didn't work there. Hold on a minute. This looks a bit different. Why does that look different? Or did I take it there? I can't remember. So I got lucky there. So I'm just going to change this a minute. Let's put it to 808. 808.
Order submitted.
Sorted.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, so it did me a favour that. So Dan's got his like that. Doesn't look that bad actually. Well, that was 30 minutes ago, so sorry, bud. How much is scalping your evals? I tend to do mine. I trade 10 contracts, and I just try and get something like $1,000 quickly. If I don't think it's difficult to work out where it's going in the short time on the NQ. I looked at this was coming down. We had a little bit of a pullback on the NQ. To me, it looked like it was just dropping back a bit, and it was going to drop, and exactly what I did. And I just did it 3 times for, I think I did 1,500 and then 800 and 700, something like that, just for a quick pass of it. I used to just go for the full whack, try and get the full 3,000, but it just doesn't work. It rarely works. This works better. So I'm not so sure whether this is a channel like that. It's hard to say. And not only that, if it is, I think it's risky just taking that. It's only a first entry. Yeah, you may say it works there, but I think it's a little bit too early just to go long there, especially when we're into all-time highs. We're into new territory up here, so... So it doesn't look like it's working. Trouble is, that's just one leg down, really. You may argue we've got to break in a new low. It's possible, yeah, but the trouble is it's a bit too early. We could just, I mean, we're into all-time highs. We could just be really making some arranged tops. It's too early, I think, just to think about going long off a first entry, really. Now, you may say we've got a little channel with a break in a new low, but I think it's a bit too early to go long. A higher low, a strong higher low wouldn't be too bad. But the trouble is, if this is a channel, we're hitting the tops there, we're working right the way along the tops, we come back there, we push up, we don't get that far up and we drop back strong. So it's a bit early just to jump into a... yeah, NQ, bud. The NQ, you need a lot less distance of a move. So yeah, all I go for is a partial bit of a bar. You know, sometimes you get a little pullback and then you're going to drop. So we get a little pullback. I tend to jump in there and grab a small amount off the NQ. It's much quicker to pass it on the NQ. Is there any good deals now? Direct funded. I'm not sure what I'll tell you. Now, I have 5 Traderify accounts. I like these, but I wouldn't even suggest, I wouldn't even entertain them if you can't, you know, at least get to payment level. These are mine at the moment, so they're around about 15, so that's 16, 15 and a half, 14, so they're around just under 15 each. And how many days have I done this? 14, 13, 16, so around about 14 or 15 days, which is about 3 weeks, something like that. So around about 1,500, 3 weeks. So if I can get $1,000 over a month, I'm quite pleased with that. But if I go add account, it won't let me. But at the moment, the 50,000, I think, is there a, let's have a look. I don't think it'll let me anyway. I'm not sure what discounts. To be honest with you, what I would suggest is let me have a look. I'm waffling a bit here, so why do I keep going really bright and really dark? Let's get my compensator up. Let me just have a look. Traderify discounts. 1 hour. Okay, there is 40% off at the moment. So I haven't got a code, but if you look in the description, there is a link to it if you want to use mine. So if I go into Traderify, sign in, add account, it won't let me anyway. So the 50,000 ones is, it's 509 with 40% off. So it's 509, take away 40%, 305. Yeah, so it's $305 at the moment. So they're divided by your account, your 1.30, something like that. So it's around about £235 for Traderify. Now, the thing I like about Traderify is you have to get the account to $3,000, but then you can withdraw $2,000, which is a good deal. So if it costs you, say, £235, you can get paid $2,000, which is about £1,500, isn't it? So if it's costing you, say, $250, you're making pounds. That is, you're making 1,500. So it's a good deal, I think. But you know, for newer traders, I wouldn't go down that route, because you can get crucified financially. It's only because I'm confident that I can get accounts to payment. Now, obviously, I've had a bit of an issue lately, but I'm building my accounts up. But yeah, I mean, if you're relatively new or you haven't been paid yet, just stick to the cheapest evaluations you can. Don't even entertain the Traderify route. But if you can, you know, get some payments and you can hold the account without going too mad, then it's a good deal. And they pay in about 2 hours, I believe, as well. So it's super quick. But it's a good deal, that. You get it up to 3,000, you take 2,000. So it's a good deal. And obviously then you can, you know, you've made a bit of money. You've still got the accounts with $1,000 in. So they do have good reviews, actually. So that did work. Now, doesn't necessarily mean I should have jumped into a trade, because it does look like a leg down. You don't know whether we're making range tops. What is going on with my face at the moment? 1 minute, I'll look. Don't know what's going on. Yeah, it is frustrating when you see that, but what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, Dan didn't take it. You can't really, I don't think. You can't even argue it's a triple test, really. And when you get that push up there, which only gets into the top sort of third of this channel and then comes down, you don't know whether we're going to go sideways. You don't know whether we're making range tops and this thing's going to trigger and come down. And there wasn't a higher low anyway, if you wanted to, you know, take that route. But yeah, so yeah, the slight downside with Traderify is you can only have up to 5 counts, but it's not too bad. I think it's a good idea to diversify. Anyway, I got accounts with Apex and I got accounts with Traderify. So what have I got? 7 accounts with Apex, but I did just pick another valuation up this morning. They're 80% off at the moment, so. So trading's been hard lately. I mean, Friday was just diabolical. It's just chopping around. There's no real symmetry there, is there? You know, you may say range there, it kind of was, but the trouble is, look at the tops. Every time the tops and the bottoms as well, they're down here, up here, here, then down here, then low. It's kind of hard to trade those. And it is a little bit frustrating when you spend so long learning to trade. You get enough skills, you bring some accounts up, and all of a sudden you're seeing all these setups. And it's a bit annoying. I think Trump's in the UK today. Is he today or the next couple of days? I know yesterday, the day before, he had his helicopter flown over here. In fact, I watched some of the, when is he? Oh, tomorrow. Is he tomorrow? He actually had a good reception. Well, when they was talking about his name, I watched the they had that big event in London a couple of days ago. And I think they were talking about Trump, and he had quite a good reception, actually. Well, just talking about his name did. You can say a lot about Trump. You know, I've been on the fence with Trump over the last sort of few years. You know, certain times I don't think he's very presidential, but he certainly goes out of his way to do things for the American people, which is more than we can say for that gutless nut job. Keir Starmer, he's absolutely bloody useless. He's crippling this country. The only future I see forward for the UK at the moment is Nigel Farage. Now, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he has gained in popularity over the last few years rapidly. So I really think we need to get rid of. I'm just hoping something happens and Starmer ends up getting out. I'm amazed his own party haven't got rid of him. The trouble is, it's getting too late. It's going to get too late to do anything about it. If you annoy people so much, they don't forgive. So it doesn't matter what you do in the last couple of years. The people aren't going to forget. And when it comes to the general election, they're going to vote in Nigel Farage, whether they like him or not, because we just need some sort of change in this country. Free speech is starting to go out the window, and at least people like Trump and Elon Musk have been speaking up about free speech, which is good. I think people like Elon Musk and Trump are doing us a favour at the moment. I think even Prince Charles. See, the frustrating thing about one thing I like about in America is people who serve their country get taken care of. They get respected. You get jack shit in this country. I know. In fact, let me just put it like this: in Afghanistan, there's been more British servicemen taking their own life back in the UK than were killed in active service serving out there. That should not happen. They just don't get the support. They don't get taken care of. So many of them are living on the streets, but yet they're allowing asylum seekers in, putting them up in 4-star hotels with spa treatment and whatever else. It fries my bloody brain. You've got to look after the people that fight for you. You really have. And that's one thing they do in the US. You get respected for it. And rightly so. Anybody who's put their line on for their country, you should get taken care of. You should be at the front of the bloody queue. You shouldn't be put behind, asylum seekers coming into the country. A lot of us, yeah, I mean, it may be the case, but they seem to get more respect over there than they do. Now, I know, ex-servicemen that may have sort of mental health issues sometimes just can't function in sort of mainstream areas of general life, and sometimes I suppose that can, but it's just I don't know. You don't get taken care of, and I know something about that. I was a military family. I had a father that was killed in Northern Ireland when I was a young toddler. And I grew up with the military as well. My stepfather was military. My uncle was military. And when they leave the army, you just get a big foot up your backside. You get your pension and that's it. You're out. You just don't get no support, really. The support there is just not a lot of it around. And I know even King Charles has used some of his own funds to help support veterans. That should not happen. It should be done by the government. He shouldn't be using his own funds, regardless of whether he can afford to. But Starmer is, he makes my blood boil. Suicide's high as well, yeah. You have to take care of your servicemen. Fighting for your country in a war zone, seeing the things you do, it's not normal to see those things, and it takes its toll. Some people can deal with it, others can't. You have to support them. And we just don't do a very good job of it in this country. You shouldn't lose more from suicide than you do in a war zone. It shouldn't happen. It's crazy. I see things every day because I'm in a couple of military forums for my stepdad and my father that was killed, and we're still in contact with people. You know, various veterans, and I still go to the reunions every year and see people I've known since I was a kid. And I'm forever seeing signs popping up about a serviceman who's gone missing. He's had mental health issues since he's come back from Afghanistan and something. It's crazy. It really is. I've been boiling for months, mate. Yeah, no, I can't. Obviously, you're in you're in London, aren't you? So you probably see a little bit more of it. So I think things need to change in this country. You've got to start looking after yourself. You know, if I got my wages on a Friday, I gave some to my mate on a Saturday, I gave another out to a couple of other mates on a Sunday, spent the rest on a Monday, and on a Tuesday started moaning I got no money left. People would call me an idiot. Why are you giving money away when you haven't got enough money to live? You have to take care. That's part of any government's job, to take care of its citizens. You know, I understand asylum seekers. I understand people living in war-torn countries, but 95% of them are young males, military age. You don't know who they are. And not only that, they come from half a dozen other safe countries before they get to the UK. And the reason they come to the UK is they get a free ride. They get handouts. You know, I understand there's women and children and stuff like that, but why drag your family across across the sea in a rubber dinghy when you're already in a safe country like France? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, my next dentist appointment, I got a little crack in a tooth. 4 months. That's the quickest dentist appointment I can get. It's crazy. I got a friend who's waiting for knee surgery. He's been waiting 9 months. Still hasn't had a date yet. It's crazy. We can't afford to feed our own people. We can't afford to house our own people, but yet you're giving houses away and hotels away to young military age males. You shouldn't be doing it. The people that can take care of themselves. Most of it's young males and not women and children. Absolutely. They get handouts. They've been living in 4-star hotels. They get a mobile phone. They get spending money. There's spa treatments available in summer. It's ridiculous what they're getting. It's crazy. You shouldn't be doing that. They should be living in bare minimum, really. I'm not saying nothing about individual people, but you have to take care of your own sick and elderly before you start handing out to other people. You have to. 13 absolutely. Yeah, you find that if you're coming from a war-torn country, you find the nearest safe country and you thank your lucky stars. If you can get out of a war-torn country into a safe country, you should be, you know, settling down, finding some work and taking care of your family, not putting them through sea after ocean after roads and that to try and get them to somewhere where you get a bit extra money. It's disgraceful, I think. I won't go on too much about it because I'll piss somebody off. Same problem. Yeah, it's you know, I understand about handouts and understand about helping people, and we've been giving aid away for donkey's years, and I get that. But these people are coming in for an easy life, and you shouldn't be having your ex-servicemen that have fought for your country, and you can't house them, but housing strangers that come from another place. You have to take care of people first. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting 1.5 million people on the streets of London protesting. It's only going to get worse. Anyway, I've said me bit. I know it's crazy, isn't it? It is mad, isn't it? It's crazy. You know, I've been paying into the tax system. I'm 56. I've been paying the tax system since I was about 16 years old. But all the tax money that, you know, hard-working British people have been paying in is just being squandered and just given away, and we don't get any bloody choice. That's the frustrating thing. But Starmer amazes me. he knows what's happening. He knows the popularity that Nigel Farage is getting. He's getting pressure from his own, obviously not from his own backbenchers, but he's not doing enough about it. And he's going to go down in history as one of the worst prime ministers. I mean, surely you want to leave some sort of legacy. And when your own king, which usually royalty don't get involved in any type of politics, but even, I keep saying Prince Charles, King Charles is mentioned in a few things. Obviously, King Charles being ex-military himself, Harry and William, both ex-military themselves. So he's been using a lot of his own money to help home, to help fund, help treat and help home homeless veterans, and using his own money, which is the decent thing to do. And that comes from an ex-serviceman himself. But your government should be doing that. Absolutely. I'll tell you one thing, I don't want to go into religion too much, but I mean, my wife works with, she works in mental health, and there's a lot of Indian people working there, and they are absolutely lovely. They're friendly, they work hard, they don't ram religion down your neck, they don't expect certain rules to be changed. They're lovely, friendly people, that just want to feed you. They're lovely people. If you go into someone else's country, you respect their laws and their values. You don't expect things to be changed to suit you. If you want to live under those strict regimes and strict rules, find somewhere where that's the norm. This has turned into a very different stream today, isn't it? As long as there's one single person of the country left behind, you cannot afford to enter. No, you can't, no. No, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you can't get into Australia for love nor money. They're super strict. No one moans at them. That's just the way it is. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to get into Australia. The trouble is, when I went to London a few times as a kid. I took my stepson to London. I've got no interest in the slightest of taking my daughter to London. It doesn't look the same anymore. I live in the UK. Most of you know I was a bricklayer. So where I live in Shrewsbury, it's a kind of a market town. It's where Charles Darwin was born, went to school, and so on. That's kind of our claim to fame. It's very kind of old. There's loads of old black and white Tudor buildings. There's an 800-year-old castle. Charles Darwin's school is there with the old oak benches with the names scratched on going back 300 years. It's a beautiful old town. Now, I was a bricklayer, and there was a bunch of new houses that went up about 2.5 miles from where I live, and I worked there. Now, in the UK, years ago, you'd have something called tax windows. So if you had a window in a building, you would pay more tax. So what they did is they bricked the windows up to reduce the tax. So a lot of the old buildings where I live in Shrewsbury have what they call tax windows. They're all bricked up. And what they do is they have the wall there, and they set the brickwork where the window was back about 20 millimeters. And that's what they did to save money. So when you build a new house or a new estate where I live, you have to build those houses in fitting with the current houses around you. So brand new houses, we put in what they call tax windows. So although it looks like a window, it's not. It's just the brickwork set back. So wherever you build things, you have to keep into the surroundings. So when you have London, which is the capital city of Britain, I don't understand how giant mosques fit in with the current surroundings, with the way the country looks. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I know the Lake District up in Cumbria, absolutely beautiful. They applied for permission. I think they got it for a massive giant mosque there in the countryside, which doesn't fit in with the surround. So I don't kind of understand things. I just don't believe you should move to someone else's country, expect them to change their culture to fit you. If I go to Spain, I go to Spain for the way Spain is, to look at the culture, to eat the food. I don't go there and expect you to change it. I don't go around to someone else's house and say, the colour of the wall offends me. Can you change it, please? You know, I don't like the way you do this. You can't do that. You have to respect people's cultures. You know, that's why you have a choice. If you don't like the culture, you don't go there. If you like the culture, then maybe you want to take a trip there. I would never go to someone else's country and expect them to change for me. You know, we've had people, generations, fought for our freedoms. I don't agree with halal meat. I don't, you know, we have certain animal welfare in this country. Now, I eat meat and I understand how it all happens and how it's processed. But I don't believe you should put the animal's head in a vice and use a machete and slice its throat. I don't get it. It's animal cruelty wherever and I know you may think that's hypocritical from someone who eats meat, but, you know, I still don't think an animal should suffer. So if we have animal rights here and animal welfare, why should they be changed for certain people? You have laws, you have rules, you have regulations. They go for everybody. We shouldn't change our laws and the things we've, you know, our values to suit other religions. You shouldn't do it. Anyway, I'm going off on one now. Anyway. Yeah, sorry. Let's get back to trading. Yeah, good point. Let's have a look. Okay, so is this a channel? Have we got a break here? It does look like this. Yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. You know I eat meat. I get it. But you still have to, you know, you still have to treat the animals. There are certain ways, you know, to, the easiest way to put it, you got to dispatch of an animal humanely, haven't you? You don't want them to suffer. Now, I'm not saying we do everything right, you know, but I'm just looking at this as well. Is that kind of like two legs up and a spike and a chan? It's hard to say, really. Yeah, I mean, I respect that, people who are vegan. I do. I know in the US there's a very different culture with hunting in there, but you know I get it. I get it. It's not for me, but I get it. No, I don't hate people. I don't hate people at all. I think all people should be treated the same. But I do respect people enough to, if I go around to someone else's house, I respect them. You know, I have manners. I wouldn't, you know, expect people to change things for me. I'd fit in with other people, you know, but me for Prime Minister, I wouldn't want that job. It's just, it's a messy old world at the moment, isn't it? And I'll say it again. I said it yesterday. Actually, my wife gave me a fist bump. And I said, the problem is men. It's not women. It's men. It's men is the problem. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Men are the problem, really. We've got a lot to answer for, really. We really have. Now, do I go long here? Channel break, nuke. Tough one, this is. channel break. I'm tempted to go long here.
Order submitted.
Let's see how this finishes. You were great. See you like Tommy Robinson. There are certain things, I like the fact that he stands for Britain, but I know he's had issues in the past. He's been a bit of a thug in the past. So, you know, is he a good person? I don't know. I like some of the things he's fighting for. He's got a shady past. Agreed. But I wouldn't say I like him, but I respect the fact that he is, you know, God, that's a big bar. I respect the fact that he's, you know, he's fighting for Britain. It's a big ass bar, that is. You know, he's had a bit of a shady background. He was a bit of a football thug at one point. You know, I know people change and stuff, but I don't know enough about him, really, to be honest with you. I think I might just sit tight here. It's quite a big bar, that is. Yes, it's bullish.
Order
We seem to have
cancelled.
a channel with a break and a new low. I can't really see any major liquidity apart from down there. I can't see that coming back. That's, you know, it's at the EMA there, so it's a tough one, isn't it? It's not working anyway, that, I don't think. Second entry long, possible, which didn't trigger. Maybe a high or low. Trouble is, not. Don't think so. Okay. Trouble is, we're into all-time highs here by quite a reasonable amount, aren't we? So that's previous all-time highs. We're up 15 points on the day. Maybe we have a leg and a leg, find some support down here, and then move up some more. Maybe it certainly looks bullish. We've more or less been bullish right from the get-go. We've had that we had a spike up, a drop down, big bearish bar. We triggered it, pushed up, stopped it out, came back, had a couple of bounces, and we're off. So my guess is it's probably, I'd like to see two legs here, and then we probably something like that, two legs or a correction, and then maybe another all-time highs. I would have thought so, because you got nothing really. I mean, from a price action point of view, some may say no, Mac may say no, but when you haven't been up here before, there's no kind of, I mean, as a patch trader, we don't use a huge amount in the way of support and resistance, but I do pay attention to it. You know, if we came down here and bounced a few times, we could take a triple test, but when we're into new territory, I don't think it makes a huge difference. Not as a patch trader, I don't think. Yeah, it's hard to say, really. I don't know, mate. I don't know is the answer. I should have just said I don't know, really, shouldn't I? So, instead of making a useless speech. Well, I did some shopping over the weekend and I noticed some of the shops that were going in are getting Christmas trees in and boxes of crackers and chocolates and all sorts of stuff. Christmas seems to get earlier and earlier every year, doesn't it? Channel break, new low. There is a higher low there. Trouble is, a lot of the times I might leave this and then I'll go and have a look, and Dan will take it, Mark will take it, and everybody else. But what I will say is, just looking at where this bar is now, I used to have a sheet of paper next to my desk that's saying, take a trade, look left. So if I look left, it's a little bit congested there. So I think any trade here for me, high or low, would be risky. Now we push down, we're going sideways. I'd like to see another leg down, so like a correction down to some support here. And that might not be a terrible place to think about a trade. Sometimes it doesn't do that, but we've got a reasonably sized channel up there. I'd expect more than just that and a higher low and up. I'd like to see a bit more of a correction. I say this such a lot of times, and a lot of the times it doesn't even get anywhere near it before it takes off, but you've kind of just got to say it how you feel about it and how you understand price works. But we have had a little micro channel with a new low. We could have another bounce and it may take off, but I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a trade here purely simply because it's congested at the moment. Someone's taken a trade. I don't know who that is. I won't show his name or something because he might not like it up here. There's not that you can see it anyway, but I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. It's going sideways, and the trouble is, often we'll go down, across, and down, or vice versa, and it's just like two legs. So I can't see that working personally. But the trouble is, you don't know whether he's been trading 5 minutes or 5 years, so he may know better than me. So he's got pray for me, so perhaps he's not quite that confident. If you take a trade and ask people to pray for you, I'd say it might not have been the wisest choice. But it may work. Who knows? When it chops like this, you never quite know whether it's going to break, bounce a couple of times and push up, or whether it's going to bounce down here. Who knows? When it's going sideways, it's more of a flick of a coin, isn't it? Could go up, could go down. Someone else is in fact that trade that I just shown shows that spike in channel actually. Well, what it shows is that, which is the same thing really. We've kind of got a push up with a bounce and then up. So that looks more like it to me, I think. Channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, 2 legs down and a bounce here, and then a bounce again. So who knows? So, possible second entry short. Is this going to come down, clear out any stops here and give us this second leg down? It's possible. I don't know whether it will or not. It may just take off, but when I see that, yeah, see Marco's kind of looking the same, really. Well, he's bound to, isn't he? The bar's the same, but he's got a little channel with a break and a new low. There is a higher low there, and there is a bullish bar there, but is this going to come down and clear this out? I would say it's got more chance of doing that. Whether it will or not is a different ball game. May just take off. In fact, if I put that up there, that is kind of exactly where you want to see that second leg go to. That's if it does, of course. I've been watching Blacklist again, I have. I love that program. I've watched it about 3 times on and off over the last few years. I'm just going through it again at the moment. Reddington's in prison at the moment. So is it going? It may well do. That's the trouble. It's hard to say. It may just push straight up, hit the highs. It may just come dropping down. How much is the PA fee for Apex now? I believe it's $140, which is kind of, it's the normal price. You know, now and again when they have deals, they have, I mean, the last deal was the best one they had. 90% off and $85. I love the $85, but they don't often do them, unfortunately. It's hard to say, really, because take Profit Trader, you pay about, I think it's $105, and if you pass it, you don't pay anything more, but if you fail it, it's cost you $100 for an evaluation. So I have mixed feelings about which is ideal, you know, which is good, which isn't. So all of a sudden, this is now not looking too bad. We've had a bounce, possibly a bounce. I could drag that down just a fraction. So that's why I kind of like being able to have the best of both worlds on here. I could think, is that a channel with a break in a new high, or have we actually made a spike in a channel? Okay, so new high by a tick. How many days do you have loaded? I don't think it really matters too much, in all fairness, but on my main chart, I think I have 7 days. Yeah, I have 7 days on this one, and I think I have 4 days on my second chart. Yeah, I do. The one that's got break of end of day. I don't really think it matters too much. I think Mac has a lot more. Now, what I will say, the more days you have loaded, the more it's clogging your computer up. So if your computer's starting to slow down, like mine is a little bit, sometimes it goes a bit slow loading them. But I have 7 days. I think that's plenty, really, just to have a little bit of a browse back and see there's plenty there, I think, to figure out. We're definitely going up. So we're definitely bullish at the moment. We've had pull back, big move up, a little bit of sideways, another move up. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some kind of a correction in the coming day or days. actually fits very nice there. So, I mean, it depends. Let me just make this a little larger. If you like that, from the bottom, top, at the top now. Wouldn't be surprised if we had this, some form of a correction. But that obviously all depends. And I like the way it's bounced off that midline nicely there as well, and there, and there, and there. So that's really interesting. That is beautiful on the midline there, and there. We've pushed up against it, and we've bounced on top of it. So that looks pretty realistic, I would say. So now we're at the top of it. We're either going to make, well, we could go a bit higher, or we could go sideways, or we could have a bit of a pullback. But it's hard to say. So I'm going to get rid of that at the moment because it's just going to confuse me. So the trouble is, you know, Mac doesn't talk about previous days. I think it's certainly worth paying attention to. So we had a little break, another little retest, and off it went. That bar's a little bit weak, I think, for me. And going along there, it's a little bit congested. Going along there for me is a no-no. It didn't look any better here. If you think that's valid, then that wouldn't be a bad trade. But I'm a bit uncertain. I put that on there as a possibility. Dan said he didn't think so. So, you know what I mean? Yes, I have, mate. Yeah, you can see mine are both on 12. I just noticed most others, I know Dan and Marco and a few others said they're rolling over. It actually did me a favour because I took a trade and I hadn't rolled over. I hadn't changed the instrument rollover date on my Replicanto, so I only lost on one account instead of 12 of them. So it did me a favour, actually. Yeah, see, I did this a little bit earlier. There's a few others. He's put that now. Someone else has put that as well. I did that. Dan said he doesn't think so. So it's, what do you do? I generally respect his opinion. So trouble is, if you take that trade there, that bar there, you are respecting that line, I think. It's hard to tell, isn't it, really? I don't think it's an issue if you're not sure, just to leave it. You at least you can guarantee not to lose a penny. So we got a break, 2 pushes to a new high. Let's see where this thing goes. So I've had a break, a retest, 2 pushes to a new high. There's a bearish bar there. I'm not going to be taking a trade there at the moment, even if it does come back today, maybe, because up until now it's been bullish. So I just can't take a short at the moment, because even at the moment we're still looking like this thing may be drifting up. Excuse me. Ah, interesting. Marco took it. Ah, it never triggered. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, I considered it. It's just not that much room to the lows for me. There may be enough. But it just came back. He never got in it, unfortunately. It happens. See, I go for 12 ticks normally. So if I'm in there, mine's got to get back to here. Can I guarantee it's going to do that? I'm not sure. And not only that, if this is a spiking channel, it may not come further. It may just come to that EMA and then continue up. It's hard to say. Yeah, it did give me a pop-up earlier. I ignored it for some reason. I had my mind. I was thinking about something else. Yeah, a couple of people did. I think Dan did. Dan and Marco did. It was a little bit more on the new contract, not much. There. So, old contract. No, what was the one I looked at? See, I don't really pay much attention to it. All I want to know is what are most people doing. Excuse me, sorry. I'll stop yawning today. Daily volume. September 25 years. Not sure what's going on here. I don't fully understand it all. We're going back a few days here. I just tend to follow the masses. Excuse me. Wish this thing would move a bit faster. Sorry, I can't stop yawning. I'm just going to take a couple of minute break and make myself a cup of coffee, see if I can't wake myself up. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Okay, I'm just going to take a break just for a few minutes, make a quick cup of coffee. Otherwise, I'm going to be yawning all day, and you don't want to be hearing that. So, a few minutes, I'll be back. Okay. Have I missed anything? Was that a bad trade? It's hard to know, really. Okay, so Max got this. So he's just got that slightly like that, isn't he? I don't know why that isn't. He's got that there, which is a bit odd. So we got a little break. 2 pushes to a new high. Still going up, so just so this is not looking too bad now. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. If we get to the top and we come back down again, then you could probably argue for that then. I don't know. I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. It may be something like that. Looks like we got a channel. A little kind of micro with a break to put. That's just trading lately. It's just been tricky lately. I mean, look at that. It's subtle volume overnight, really. Sometimes that's what we have overnight. We've just had that kind of push up and we're just sort of chopping up. But trouble is, when you're in all-time highs, it's hard to know. You know, sometimes we'll go up to a certain area and maybe find some resistance, and then we'll come back down. But we're into new territory, so I mean, we got support down here, but obviously, you know how far it's going to go up. Right. Let's have a quick look and see how everybody else is doing. Just kill the volume. Nutty. Oh, he's up a bit. How's Alpine doing? It's up a bit as well. He just blew a few accounts again. He did. What's he on to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PA accounts. About 4 or 5 others. I've not heard some of the others. Okay, so is there a spike in channel? Possibly. I've got two kind of versions of it here. One slightly, that's a little bit more steep. This is a little bit less steep. I've got it slightly different, but I think at the moment we definitely seem to be, I'd say so. Let's have a look. Certainly need a couple of legs down here. So we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high, a pull back, another couple of pushes. So this thing may be moving up. It's just so slow lately, isn't it? Usually when September kicks in, things improve a little bit, but can't really say I'm seeing that. I'm amazed there's not much volume. Considering how bullish it is, you think there'd be a lot more volume going into this. Mind you, having said that, we're into all-time highs. So do people feel like, do you really want to buy? Well, I mean, people are buying, but do you really want to buy heavily at all-time highs? Not really. I suppose investors really, waiting for a pullback. A decent sized pullback, a bit of bad news, drop 100 points and then get in at a reduced price. But you're paying top dollar at the moment for this, aren't you? But it is still creeping up, so I don't know. No, I don't like that. Oh, nearly. Again. Quick. Ready. Come on. Ready. Come on. Come on. Up. Good now. We can sit down here. Don't click that, will you? Thank you. Very nice. That's very nice. Yeah, you don't want to be climbing on there, no, do you? Hey, do you? Climbing on there, do you? Hey, do you? Good. You're about me or the dog? You must be talking about me, I think. Dog's a bit scruffy and smelly. Must be me. Wilson, that one. That's his name. Got 2 cockapoos. Boy and a girl. He's got real anxiety separation, that one has. When I'm in the bathroom, when I usually have a bath in the evening, he cries outside the door. I mean, proper howls and cries. When I come back from the shop, he's in the window howling and crying. It's difficult because I work from home now. I'm here every day, see, so he spends so much time with me. My wife can't wait to get away. He wants to spend every minute with me. Yeah, I think the volume is obviously to do with it's a lot to do with the rollover. I'm guessing it should pick up a bit. Couple of legs down. Be nice. Second entry long, possibly. But I mean, it's running slowly anyway. There's no argument there. So finally, somebody, Thomas Way has just posted that 9 minutes ago. So he's looking at that as well. So I'm glad someone is. I've had that for the last 15, 20 minutes. And this is ever so slightly different. But both really showing, prices going up. See, look at that. There's a trouble is you can't take that, in my opinion. One, there's no room to the top. We've got a channel with a break. There's no room to the top. It's got to come back here, really. You may argue, well, it's sat on that midline, but you really have to have enough space, and there's a couple of 3 ticks at best. And the trouble is, with that sitting too far from that EMA and they're both relatively vulnerable. I'll be surprised if this goes much higher before it clears both those levels there. Certainly that one and that one as well. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. Really, if you wanted to buy this market now, you'd be looking at putting orders down here. I wouldn't be adding to it here. Now, I appreciate the fact that not everyone trades the 2000 tick chart. The hourly chart might look quite different, but it does seem to work relatively well, though, regardless. But I can see that getting kicked out pretty quickly. So we've got a channel up here on the right side. We've got a break, 2 pushes to a new high. Bearish bar now, so you'd like to think it's going to take away that tick there, that one there. See, these are times where I see these little traps there where I'd like to have a go at these evaluations with quite high contract, just grabbing half of a bar. You'd expect that to go. I wouldn't take that, so I expected that to get triggered and stopped out. So as it starts to come back, quick sell order in here, half a bar, pick up $1,500, $1,000 on the NQ. If you can spot these little bits where you think it's likely to pull back here or to take out that one, you can pass these quite quickly. I used to just go all out and just go for the whole move in one go. The trouble is, it's only got to go sort of $2,000 and then come back a so much, and you're out. If we didn't have that sort of trailing, if it was end of day drawdown, it's a bit easier. But most of these places that have the end of day drawdown, like Take Profit Trader, the maximum you can do in is $1,500 in one day, and you've got to pass over 5 days. Otherwise, it'd be relatively easy. You just drop an order down here, risk $100, and put your big order up here. And if it goes 90% the way and comes back, you've only lost $100. Doesn't affect you. But with Apex, obviously, that's what trailing draw. And if it goes up there and then comes down and takes you out here, even though you're technically in profit, that's kind of the downside. So I expect it to break below there. There's a bullish bar there. That's a weak position, I think. It's too far from the EMA. It's way too far from this. So that coming down, it's only got to just drop below that EMA a fraction and take out any liquidity there. I thought, yeah, that's the thing. If it'd be easy to pass them, really, wouldn't it? Because when they're cheap, you just buy 2 of them. You go long on one, put your $3,000 in, and go short on the other one, put your $3,000 in. You're bound to pass one of them. But that's purely and simply why they don't do it that way. You're limited to what you can earn in one day, and then obviously you've got the 5 days with a Take Profit Trader. So they don't make it easy, and nor should they really. They don't want to be giving these things away. You've still got to kind of, I don't know whether earn them's a good word. I wouldn't consider myself earning them, because I do, get risky with them. Sean, you trade 5. No, I tend to trade 10 contracts. I used to trade, what I find is if you look at the NQ, if I open an NQ chart here, much quicker to pass them on an NQ. Mind you, can fail them a bit quicker as well. So if I quickly get that NQ chart up there, just change that to NQ quickly. So you've got to get about 63 ticks to pass there. So 63 ticks is less than the width for that, the length of the bar. So let's call that around about. Okay. So for argument's sake, let's say to pass that is the length of that bar. Now on this side, you've got to go for 6 points. So let's pick this bar here. That bar there is way more than 6 points. You've got to get 6 points there, which is there. Sorry, a little bit more. So you've got to get that much of a move, 6 points with 10 contracts to hit $3,000. That's the move you've got to get on there. So that's more than double. That's 2.5, 3 times the height of the average bar. It's much easier to pass it, but it's much quicker to fail it as well. But it'll often move the width of a bar without pulling back necessarily. Or what I tend to do is, if I think it's going up, if it pulls up and then has a small pullback, I tend to jump in there rather than jump in at the top. That's how I used to do things. So it's generally quicker to pass them on the NQ, but you can fail them quicker. But I think it's easy to get the movement of one bar, whereas obviously it's way different on here. So, if I think we're pushing up, we have this bar, we pull back a little bit, which we normally do, jump in down here and then just catch that little move back up, and it's easy to pass them. If you're a little bit clever about it and you can spot these little bits where you're thinking, okay, we're having a bit of a push up, but it's going to come back. You know what I mean? So, but I used to go the full whack, but I tend to not now because I fail way more. And I've done over 1,100. I've traded them crazily in the past. I definitely wouldn't suggest you do it my way. it's way more painful. So we push up, we're doing this. A little second entry long down here wouldn't be a bad option. So we got channel there, 2 pushes to a new high, lower high there. Trouble is we're still moving up at the moment, so although that may trigger and it may come down a bit, there's not much space down to that EMA, so we're definitely bounce. We've definitely got a bit of congestion here. So second entry long down here, drop below that EMA and then maybe sit strong on top of it for a ride back to the top. But you don't know whether this could see that for me would be vulnerable. So if I'm going to take a long here, it wants to break below there. So I'm going to just get an order open. It'll sit on both sides, so I'll just figure out which one looks the best. So it's broke below that liquidity there. I can't see it coming down that low. So I'd say there's likely to be buyers down here, probably. So how far could this come down? If it keeps coming down, then I wouldn't want to jump in. I'd like to see some sort of reaction down here. Maybe it trigger below and then start to push up maybe. So we're at the EMA either way. We've cleared that liquidity there. If this went bullish though, I wouldn't take this. There's just no space above this really, to be fair. If I take that there, there's not even 2 points to the highs. Now, it may go higher, but I've tried if I come out with new news. Not that I'm aware of. I'm not sure. I think they might have added some platforms to their system. I'm not sure. Project X, yeah. I thought Project X, isn't Project X part of Take Profit Trader? Not too sure. There may be a small bar here. In fact, let me just have a look on Bookmap, see if there's any orders around about the 77. Not really. Some a bit longer. I think this might come down a little bit more, so this might be more valid, I think, than this. Let's have a look. There are orders down at 75, which is around about there. Now, there is some down at 70 as well. Can't see it getting down that far. So, if we can get around about here, bounce, 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 you may even get a triple test there. Pick up those orders at 55. It's tempting that, but I'm going to leave alone I can see those orders down at 75. I wouldn't take it on this chart. Is this more valid than this? It's hard to say, really. Okay, so Dan's got this now finally. And that looks okay.
Order cancelled. I think so. I know Marco certainly does. I think he does. A couple of legs and a bounce somewhere. Just asked him actually if he trades with the second chart.
I know Marco does. I know quite a few people do now. I know Thomas Wade does.
Order submitted.
Let's see if we can get a second. Move down here. So there is orders I can see a bookmap down there. Let me just get rid of this chart. So I think get a bounce down here, like 2 legs down. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Okay, leg and a leg. We need to 2 legs down. We need a little bit of a touchdown here and a bullish bar here. So fingers crossed. So that is just above here, so we probably don't need that. We can get close to this. Okay, let's see if we can get a bullish bar here. 2 legs down. Come on. Two legs down at support. Come on. I don't mind it bouncing here. That would give me a possible triple test. What are you doing, man? You're licking my elbow. That's weird. One more tick. Come on, get below there. Not bothered about that. There is orders at 5, which is picking up. Bullish bar there would be ideal. 2 legs down. Come on. I really wanted to get below there. 2 ticks. Come on, baby. That's what I wanted. Now give us something bullish. Come on. Trouble is, there is orders down here at 70. Is it going to come below there? Trouble is, we've had this break here. You could argue 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. No, I'm just going to have to
Order cancelled.
I can't just take this. See, Thomas Wade's got that, so he's got this channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high and a little bit of chop, so it could be reversing. There's always that possibility. It's just not really super clear at the moment, so it's hard to say, really. What I do know is there's a lot of buy orders at 70, which is down here. An area of development, as Thomas Wade puts it. So yeah, so it's certainly unclear. So it needs to figure out what it wants to do, whether it's going to reverse or whether it pushes up. So I mean, if you get rid of that, we've got a channel up there with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. We've made a few more attempts, and then we've had a strong move below that EMA. So are we going to have 2 legs up now and then start to possibly work down? We're into new territory here, so I would have suggested as an investor, you know, depending on whether you're swing trading this thing, ideally you don't really want to be buying at all-time highs. It's like with crypto or anything, really. You don't want to be buying crypto at $120,000. You want to wait for a pullback, and that kind of makes sense for everything, really. So if you know, big buyers are buying this thing for a move up, you don't really want to be buying up here. So if there's a lack of buyers up here, you tend to think there might be more sellers. It's hard to say. Do I No, I mean, I have a broker. I have Ninja Trader's own broker, but I haven't got it. I think there's about $40 in there. I haven't traded my own money for a long time. I did it initially, and it, as you can guess, it never went well. When I first started, I'd only been trading a month, and I gave up my job and put £5,000 in and lost it all. That's my claim to fame. Claim to stupidity. But I've got to say, it's a valuable lesson. It's a valuable lesson that I'll never do it again. Until I can make consistent money every month, and I fully trust myself, I wouldn't entertain put my own money in just yet. I'm not far away. You know, I had my accounts up to around about 3,000, and I took money out between 500 and 1,000 out of about 9 accounts over the space of 5 months, and it worked well. And then I had a couple of losses. My head went a bit funny, and I just happened to move my stop instead of accepting a loss, and boom, they all went. And that's why it's taken me the last sort of month and a half, 2 months of building these accounts back up till I can get to the level. So until I can trust myself that I won't do something like that, and I start to make regular money, and when I say regular money, money that I can take a wage, and, you know, if I can get to $10,000 a month or more or something like that, then maybe 2,000 or 3,000 a month profit I'll start to possibly funnel into an account on my own and trade that as well. But until I fully trust myself, I think's the word, I wouldn't entertain it at the moment. How do you do? Tradeify and Apex. It's not that difficult, actually. You can trade multiple accounts on Tradeify, but you can only trade one account with Rhythmic. But you can trade Rhythmic and Tradeify at the same time. So that's what you can do. So, you know, you can trade Tradeify, you can trade Take Profit Trader, and I think My Funded Futures all the same time on Tradeify, and then one other prop firm such as Apex on Rhythmic. The only concern I have is trading Rhythmic was straightforward to me. It's a little bit finicky now because I can't open Rhythmic on my PC, but I can open it on my iPhone, so I've got the app there, so I can always, after an account's, after a trade's finished, you can see I've got my Rhythmic app there. I can quickly go into Rhythmic and just check all the accounts are closed. I don't know how to do it with multiple accounts on Tradeify. I'm not as familiar with Tradeify as I am with Rhythmic. So that's one thing I need to sort of, get sort of a better understanding about how to close things down properly in Rhythmic. All accounts and companies like you. Just one, yeah. I need to understand Tradeify a little bit more. I can go into Tradeify. I've got all my accounts in Tradeify set to a maximum of $500 loss per day as a backup emergency, just in case the worst happened. But if accounts weren't closed down, the only way I know at the moment is to go into them individually and close them down, which does take valuable seconds, but I'm just not so familiar with it. I can't seem to get the information I need about how to be able to close things at the touch of a button that I used to be able to have with Rhythmic. So it's kind of an ongoing, but I do have that emergency backup should something go wrong and something doesn't close down. As soon as it's a $500 loss, that account closes. So it's always good to have a backup. I've kind of learned the hard way. So if I look at Bookmap at the moment, it kind of looks like we're working in a bit of a range between 70 and 18. We've got these big orders here. So at the moment, we do seem to be having this, whether we get down to 72 or 70, but we do seem to have these big orders up here and these big orders down here. So I do wonder whether this thing is going to start to range. So 70 is down here. So whether we end up doing something along those lines or not, I don't know. Where's 70 there? So orders being below. So whether we end up having 2 legs up, 2 legs down, whether we start ranging or not, I don't really know. But if that's a channel, we've had a break. Any bulls we had here got triggered and dropped down, which tells me there's more going on here, especially if it gets below there. Because we got back to the EMA, and I'm pretty sure this is likely to get down below. But if this thing is going to go higher, if you're a buyer, I'm guessing you're probably going to be buying at these levels below here, which strangely enough is around about 70. So you can see there's buy orders sat there, which kind of makes sense. If you're going to buy below this liquidity, would probably be the best option if you know, if you thought this thing was, you know, generally moving up. So if you've got a lot of buyers down there, you don't really want to be buying here, in my opinion, because it may trigger and come down, but it's just not super clear at the moment. I don't know whether this channel is valid, or indeed we've had the bigger one with a break to pushes to a new high and this thing's reversing, which is equally as possible. So as Thomas Wade calls this area development, is right. It's just a little bit unclear. So is it ranging? Is it reversing? Are we just clearing some liquidity for buyers to jump in for a second move up? I don't really know. It's just not clear at the moment, really. Yeah, it's not too difficult. I've not done it myself up until that I used. I think it was a take profit trader account. But you just go into Tradeovate and you kind of sign in, and then you kind of set it up the same way you do when you set up your Apex. Takes you know 10-15 minutes to sort it out, but when it's up and running, I just wish there was a little bit more information on how to you know, manage things. I've seen him in the past that what's his name, the Apex guy, is gone through what to do if something doesn't work with Rhythmic. They talked a lot about that, because going back a year or two, we had a lot of issues with Rhythmic, and he kind of showed us how to close Rhythmic if orders, because sometimes they show they close here, but they're still open in Rhythmic. We don't get so much problems like that. I think, you know, things have been updated and made a bit easier. So you can't trade today on a 2000 chart having to move down to a similar time frame to see the swings. You can't trade today on a 2000 tick chart, have to move down to a smaller time frame to see the swings. Well, I use a 10,000 tick chart from time to time there just to kind of see the bigger swings, but I go for such a small move, it doesn't kind of really make a difference, really. I mean, I go for a really small move, I'm not sure what you mean, but you can't trade today on a 2000 tick chart. Have to move down to a smaller chart to see the swings. I'm not really sure what you mean, but if I go to a 500 tick chart, there's just kind of more noise there. This kind of clears. So we've still got that kind of bigger, that bigger move up. I mean, this is still a break, whichever way you look at it. We've got a double bounce, which we have here. So close fast and better than fast. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a lot more. I know what it uses this. In fact, a couple of pushes down and a move above that EMA. This is probably going to push up. This is very much a penguin style trade, I think, isn't it? 2 legs down, a retest above that. I don't know. Annoys me. So spike and channel, and a couple of legs down. There are orders at 70 seat. So right where these areas, there's bound to be some liquidity. We've got a little bounce there, so maybe this thing's going to cut. It's hard to say, really. It's just not super clear. There may be a spike and channel, or we may have had a break of a channel, and this now may be reversing, so it may push up and start to work down. So I really don't know what's going on at the moment, in all fairness. You know, I'd love to say we've had a break. This looks like it's pushing up, but I don't really know. I'm not convinced that it has. We may have already had the break there and to push it to a new high, so it may trap longs here and then come down. There's possibly a second entry short there, but I don't really want to go short, because if this channel is valid, we may drop down there. It may trigger a short, and then we may get a short failure, which takes this up to the highs. So if we get a bearish bar here, technically it's a second entry short. It may trigger, trap some shorts and push up. So I got multiple feelings about what I'm seeing at the moment. So none of them are filling me full of confidence. So as Thomas Wade says, it's an area of development. It needs to kind of move around a little bit and start to give us a bit of a clearer picture exactly what's going on, because I'm not super sure at the moment. Trouble is, we could have a little push down. It may trap some longs and come down, or it may push up there, second entry short, failure, and trap some shorts and push up. So it's just hard to tell at the moment. It's just not super clear, which is annoying. Ooh. So there is a second entry short there on both of those, but is this a reversal, trapping longs, or is this the channel and it's trapping shorts? It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It's one or the other. Yeah, it's probably a little bit slower because a rollover. It has been a bit lately, to be honest with you. If I remember the last couple of years, September's been much better, but it's not been so clear this time round, has it? You got the second entry short. It's looking more like a second entry short. I wouldn't have taken it on that bar because of the stem. That looked better. But the trouble is, if that's valid, we could trap some shorts. It does look like it's going down. We may get a failure and it pushes up. Trouble is, when kind of they both look on the 500 tick chart. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, you could say two legs up. It's hard to say, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it's looking more clear now. I'd have had the same dilemma. Channel up with a break. Two pushes down to a new low. Are we going to trap some shorts and push up higher? So I'd have still had the same dilemma. I'd have said, with that bearish bar there, more likely to come down there. But with this bar, it's hard to say. But the trouble is, now we kind of know how things are working out, it becomes easy. But at the time, when you've got to try and make the right decision, and the trouble is, there is doubts there, and enough doubts to keep me out of a trade, because you never know whether it's going to trigger you. So we've had a drop out here, and we've had a little double bounce there. You don't know when it's going to push up. People are going to take profits here. It pulls back a bit. We jump in short, it triggers you, and then comes up for a second leg to the highs. It's just one of those things. No, it's not hard. It's the thing is, we all have to kind of make a decision. And the trouble is, I got different, different thoughts here. Is this a channel and we're pushing up, or have we had a break out of it and we're breaking down? See, it depends how you trade it. If you trade, I'm trading kind of pat style, so you've only got to have a different kind of strategy, and things kind of change. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Well, it depends how you trade, really. I mean, I've been trading this, which we call pat style. And we follow a guy called Mac who's been trading 2000 tick chart for 28 years. So this is kind of the strategy, but it does work. It's super accurate. But we all kind of trade slightly different, and entries are slightly different. Reasons to get in and out, are kind of slightly different. So it's just not straightforward. Well, he's been trading for 28 years, but if you look on his, I don't know, to be honest. I know he's been trading for 28 years. If you look on his YouTube channel, I know they've had him. Yeah, there may be. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I know if you look on his YouTube channel, he's got videos going back 13 years. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at this. So let's have a look. 3 days oldest. Probably he's got videos going back 13 years with ticks. So he's been putting videos on YouTube for 13 years, and he's been trading this style. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know, to be fair. You've been trading price action for 5.5 years. Started with Mac and had to move on. His entries are too arbitrary. I absolutely get that. I've kind of been through that myself. I know where you're coming from, but I've tried looking away. I've tried penguin style trade, which is a slightly blown out version of this, where you can jump in here, put a stop down here, and put an order up here. So I've played around with stuff, but I always seem to come back to pats. So I understand where you're coming from. You've been trading about a year longer than me. So I know what you're saying, and I think that's fine to do that. It's fine to find your own balance and find your own way of making price work for you. I absolutely get that, for sure, yeah. The link, to Mac's thing, yeah, absolutely. It's just on. Let's put the website back on as well. It's just, let's have a look. I'll find it. Where is it? When you've been trading pats a while, it is super accurate, but it does take a long time to get the hang of. That's kind of the sort of how do I copy link? That's it. Do it. Let's have a look. Paste. There you go. That's it there. I trade a hybrid of penguin. Yeah, same again. I know exactly where you're coming from. I kind of look at both, to be honest with you. Some trades I take are based on, they're very similar, aren't they? Pat's is, and I know what you're saying about the 500 tick chart, because I know he's been trading the 500 tick chart a lot, and I've kind of gone back and forth. So I agree with you on the hybrid side. I'm not completely disagreeing with you here. I know what you're saying, and I kind of, I think it's I think that's where I'm kind of flowing towards. But what I'll say is, if we're looking at this channel down here, we've now had 3 bounces. So you may say there's 2 legs. Now, a lot of the time now I see Penguin, he used to wait for price to move above the EMA and kind of drop his order in, let's say there, and put his stop below there. Now, if he has two legs, a lot of the time now, which I actually prefer, he'll drop in low, bring his stop further down, maybe below some previous swings, that he's in earlier and he's out earlier. I kind of like that. It gives you a little bit more protection, I think, because sometimes, with all good intention, price will still come down, clear out a few more, and then go that way. So I've played around with them both, so I know exactly where you're coming from, and I agree with you. I think it's sensible to find what works for you and to find your kind of own, your own way to make things work. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that's just all part and parcel of becoming a trader. You find your own kind of niche, something that works for you. So I agree. So if I got not really, I did like a spike and channel there. I have it like the channel played out, so I thought it's okay to go short. Yeah, see, I'm a bit on the fence. That doesn't look too bad, but that you can, you know, there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's kind of, they kind of both work to a degree. We've had a little couple of legs down, a retest, and two bigger moves up. So I'm a bit on the fence as to this definitely coming down, but because price has been relatively strong right from the first thing, I'm giving things a benefit of the doubt before I decide whether I go long or short. Now, you was on about that short there. I looked at it, but the trouble is I now go for 3 points. So mine's got to go for 3.25 to trigger. So at the moment, I'd still be in this trade. Now, we look like we may be getting a triple test here, possibly a higher low. So this may still push up, which is why I left that alone. It's not super clear. Or we could have a move down with 2 attempts to push up and it comes down and clears these lows, in which case the trade works. But at the moment, I just kind of listen to me inner gut. You know, when you've been trading a while, you get that gut feeling, don't you? Just by the way price is moving and how it's looking. And I tend to not even count anymore. I tend to, when you've seen this picture so many times, if it's a picture that works, you get a good feeling. If it's a picture that's got you into trouble, you get that uneasy feeling. So I'm a bit on the fence at the moment. This is what I'm talking about with the 2000 tick chart. By that time, you follow the signal bar. Trouble is, I still go for the same amount of points. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why you changed the 2000 to the 500 tick chart, but let's get it up again. See, at the moment, I'd be seeing that as a possible channel. I'd be seeing that as 2 attempts to go lower with a push up. Now, you're in about kind of looking for a short here. You don't know whether we're going to get a bit of a pullback and a push up. So I'd still be a bit unsure. Now, I like the idea of this move down and 2 clear attempts to push up. And when it pushes below the EMA, you'd probably then expect it to break the lows. So if you, let's say you went into a trade there below that EMA, you'd be looking to get out with these lows. Now, would you really want to do that? Or would he wait for a pullback? So because I'm not sure whether I think prices are finished moving up yet or whether they're reversing, I'm a little bit unsure whether to take a trade. You know what I mean? So at the moment, what I'm seeing at 1 minute, this is looking like it's going down, but what I'm seeing now is some support. So bounce, bounce, bounce. Now, you can bet there's going to be shorts there. You can bet that. So now, is this going to push up, take out the shorts, and possibly work up to a high? So I'm just a bit unsure. So if I'd have waited for that push back to that EMA and got in there, even if I'd have got in right at that EMA, I wouldn't have been out yet. So is this now a move down with 2 more attempts to push up? Big bearish bar coming there. Is this now going to push down below? Possibly, yeah. But another thing I'm seeing now is this. It's starting to range a bit. Now, if this is ranging, we've got to break out the top. Often when we get a break out the top, we get one the opposite end. So perhaps this is a move down, 2 attempts to push higher, and you expect a pullback. You know, this moving down to these lows, there's bound to be profit taken here. So we may get that 2 legs back and then it may push down. But At the moment, I'm just a bit sort of super clear. If you wait for it to cross the EMA, you waited too long. Yeah, see, some of his trades he used to take pushing for the EMA when it goes through the EMA, and a lot of the ways he trades now are when they're sometimes at the top of the move, you know what I mean? So I haven't traded a huge amount of Penguin lately, which is why I'm kind of just, you know, sort of, you know, it looks easy, but there's a little bit more to it, isn't there? Some he'll wait for it to push up, take a trade, put his stop here, put his order up here. Other times, like this, he may decide to jump in short there, put his stop up here, get out here before we've had that full move. So I kind of, I know where you're coming from, but I'm just not super confident in trading that way just yet. But I am looking at it like you probably started to do. You've been trading a year longer than me, so you've probably been through similar practice than me, Pats, and thinking you see Penguin and thinking, actually, that kind of looks a bit better. The trouble is with Pats, you've got no room for manoeuvre. If you get into a trade here, your stop goes right below that bar. How many times have we been stopped out for a tick or two and it's gone in the same direction? So the trouble is with Pats, getting the direction right is not always the key. It's a big part of it, but sometimes if there's a little bit of noise, price will come back, take you. We've all done it. So if I'd have traded Penguin style and had a little bit more of a stop, the trade kind of would have worked, you know, because they're very similar. So I'm kind of getting a feel for, you know, I'm kind of getting my own, you know, my own kind of way to do things at the moment. So when I was looking at this, touch, we've kind of got two legs up and a bearish bar. If I'd have taken that bearish bar for my normal 3 points, it wouldn't have worked. Now, there's a possibility I could have been getting stopped out there. So I agree. Yeah. It's getting a feel for it, isn't it? I certainly think Penguin is a super skilled guy. He's very good at what he does. I've spoken to him a few times, actually, and I've... in fact, the last time I spoke to him, I did say, what if you're spending so much time, you know, with the account, you know, making videos, why don't you try streaming? It's easier. All I do is I click one button and it automatically, I haven't got to mess around making videos, which takes time. Just stream. But a lot of the times he'll record his trades and he'll be talking as well. So I've said to him, and he said he's considered it, but he's quite busy doing a few other bits and pieces. But if he started streaming, I would 100% close my stream and trade with him and follow him, absolutely, because I think the guy is super skilled. The way he talks about those charts, he dissects them like a bloody surgeon. So yeah, he's definitely got some serious value there, and I do watch his videos and I do pay attention. So a lot of the more obvious trades he takes, I will take, you know, if we got to move down here, that type of thing, 2 attempts up in a bearish bar. So yeah, so there is 2 legs up there, and that's really kind of a second entry short, isn't it? But it's hard to say at the moment. It's a little bit sideways. So it's always a possibility it could trigger it and push up to the high. So, you know, as I find with trading, after a while, you get a feel for it and a gut feeling. You know, the more you sit and watch these charts and understand how they move and when you've been trapped and got stuck, you get a feeling for when to stay out because you're not sure, and then kind of when to get in. But I try to get into a trade when I have what I call it's almost like you're driving down the street and someone jumps out in front of you and waves. You can't miss them. So I try and hold on for those trades rather than trying to work out, am I right? Is this doing what I think it is? Instead of being a little bit more clear and doing what I'm pretty sure it's doing. So we've had this break here, see? There's always a possibility we could do something like that. 2 pushes to a new high on a bigger scale, as opposed to, what have I done there? As opposed to sort of, you know, something more like that, and then possibly a reversal. I mean, it's been such a bullish day. And like I say, we're into new highs. I'm looking on Bookmap and I can see a chunk of orders down there. So we could have a leg down, 2 attempts to push up, followed by another leg down. Clear liquidity here, clear liquidity here. And then maybe the market's going to decide, do buyers want to get in here and push this thing higher? It's hard to know. So I got mixed feelings at the moment. You know, 2 legs up. It's very tempting to short here, but I don't like that bar. But there's a bullish bar there, followed by a higher low. You know, often, as we know, price will come down. But would you say that's a triple test? It may be. But it's just, sorry if I'm yabbering a bit too much. Multiple guys post the trade. I try to explain the Trader Hub Discord. See, I am in his Discord, but it's I am in his Discord. You can see here. They've not been posting much lately. 13th of September, that was a couple of days ago. The previous one was in August. So I was in here quite a bit, actually, and just trying to follow. Oh, not Penguin. Sorry, I got you. Multiple guys post the trade. I tried to explain in the Traders Hub Discord. It's not Penguin, no. Aren't you in the Traders Hub? Hold on a minute. Traders Hub. I'm not sure. I may have been. Can you see it there? No, I don't think I am. I may have been. I'm not sure, but I had to delete all this. Something went wrong with it and I didn't get some of them back. Traders Hub. Is that the thing? I'm sure I used to be on there. No, it's not there. Was it? Is it the? Is it called the Hub or Traders Den? I used to be in something called Traders Den. If you know where it is, mate, or you can, you know where there's a link to it, let me know. The way I see it, the more you learn about trading in general, the better all-round, better understanding of the markets you get. So, you know, I'm always interested to listen to what people have got to say. God, this is so slow now. I mean, literally, it's taken 30 minutes, 35 minutes just to print them bars there, and they're all sideways. Bunch of guys that used to follow Penguin. Ah, okay. How do I connect with it? Because I absolutely believe Penguin's a super talented guy for sure. What's the link? Have you tried to post a link? You can't for some reason. I don't know why. Tell you what, I'll put my email address on and you can send me it there. Maybe post in your URL. Yeah. That's my email address there. Now, I'll post it there. You can get that through my YouTube channel anyway, but just post it there, bud, a link or something to it, and I'll join it. Absolutely. I definitely, when I've traded his style, I've found it more relaxing because bigger stops and bigger moves, you've got time to think a little bit more, I think, because the moves are a little bit bigger and more obvious. It does look like it's coming down for these lows here, but the only slight issue I have is that bar there, and you never quite know. You may decide to jump in here and this thing decides to flip. Yeah, so that's my email, so I'll leave that on there a minute so you can let me know, and I'll absolutely join it. Yeah, for some reason I can post but you guys can't, which I don't quite know why. More naturally fit your eye. Yeah, it does. It does. I noticed recently, well, I say recently, it's been a few months now, he started trading the 500 tick chart as well. The beauty about trading the 500 tick chart is the ATR is smaller. So if you want to still, you know, trade the ES as opposed to the micros, you've got a little bit more scope there. So I do certainly find it more relaxing. The trouble is with PATs, if you get it wrong, it can punish you. You know, if you want to take a trade here, sometimes it'll trigger you, stop you out, and end up, you've got the direction right, but you may be a little bit of noise, or there may be a little bit of, but I like the way if penguins, sometimes you get two legs, sometimes he'll jump in here, low down, maybe put his stop down here, giving him that little bit of breathing space. But the earlier you're in the trade, the earlier out your trade, as opposed to waiting for it to push that EMA, putting your stop here and hoping to God you've got enough space to get out. If you get in earlier and you read the market right, and you put your stop down here, you can get out a lot earlier. I think you've got more chance of hitting your profit. And what you can do, I suppose, if you're ordered, if you think price is going up, you can always bring your stop to where you got in and maybe try and get a little bit more of a move. So you've certainly got a little bit more to play with. You just see it. Nice one. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I'll look into that later for sure. Thanks, bud. Yeah, see, same again here. It's 1 minute it looks like it's, I just seen it pop up. Cheers. There it goes. I got it. Nice one. Thanks, mate. 1 minute. I'll have to open it on my computer later because I've got my Discord on here. Is this pushing up? It's hard to say because it's going sideways. 1 minute it looks like it's coming down. Next minute it looks like it's going up. That's what I mean. See, if you like this channel, you think 2 legs up. I didn't like that bar. You might think, oh, look, we're down here now. Let's go short here. What happens? It triggers you, pushes up. So the market's got a habit of making you think it's doing one thing and doing another. So when you get used to how it works, hopefully, it happens less. So there's always a possibility of 1, 2, 3, a possible triple test. It's trying a bunch of times to get up. Still may come down. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I wouldn't take a trade at the moment. It would have to be up here a bit because if I go short here, we're right in the middle of this congestion. You're still along from the triple test. Down here, bud, did you? Down here. Trouble is, it does look like it's moving up, but this thing then looked like it was moving down. No, it's not coming up, bud. The link's not showing. If I click add here, join a server and put that in there. Join server. It's saying invalid link. See if you can have a look at that for me. I'm definitely interested in joining that. So 1, 2, 3. Traders Hub. Can I actually search it on let me have a look. Let's just do a Google or something. No, I can't find nothing. No, I can't find nothing. Let me think. I have got a trader buddy who's you finally out, are you? Good on you, mate. Let's have a look. I don't suppose there's a link for it anywhere in Penguin's Discord, is it? Is there? Yeah, so I'm starting to think that now isn't really a channel. Are you having a look, are you? All right, mate. Ah, okay. So I've just done a search here. That's Crypto Traders Hub, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing coming up there. Not seeing it on the search, no. When you're in there, just put a little post. Just put, has anybody got a link that they can share? Someone might post a link on it. Yeah, if you go onto it and just put a message, just put, has anybody got a link? And someone might drop one in the message you can copy and send to me again. Okay, I'm just going to take a big quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Just wondering whether let's have a look. Got a trader buddy, Martin. I'm not sure whether he's in it. Let me have a look. Let me message him. You say it was called the Trader's Den. Ah, just had a message. Have you found one, have you? Let's have a go. Let's have a look. Ah, here we go. Super, I'm in. Thanks, pal. I appreciate that. Here we go. That one there, the Trader's Hub. Fantastic. Brilliant. I'll have a play around with that later. Thanks, mate. Nice one. Well done. Right, let's get rid of that, I think, now. Yeah, super. I'm in. Yeah, I'll have a play around with that later for sure. There's my mate in there. There's quite a few in there. There's loads in there. Oh, super. Excellent. Fantastic. Thanks for that, buddy. God, this is so slow. Look at this. So, when was this? So that's 4 o'clock there. So between that and that, it's taken us an hour and 25 minutes just to do that. That's crazy, isn't it? so slow today. For the night. But you're going for the night, are you? Okay. Rach, you're going to have to pick her up. I've had a whiskey. Yeah. Sorry about that. God, this is so slow. Come on. What's going on here? What's going on here? Your chart is stuck. Is it? That's unusual. Why has that happened? How weird is that? Okay, let's disconnect and connect. So disconnect, connect. Can I say it's flipping slow? Ah, okay, that's better. Yeah. Not like it's done much, though. It's only done about 3 more bars. It's probably been stuck for 20 minutes, but let's have a look. Okay, let me just check everything's opening.
Order submitted.
Beautiful.
Order cancelled.
It's hard to know what's going on here. I mean, it's so slow and congested. The trouble is, you get in here, this thing could flush down and just do you one. It's not easy to do, I've got to say. God, this is so slow. Okay, excuse me just for 1 second. Sorry about that. Cam Navolin, sing 'em all. I haven't had a whiskey for a month, ever since I came out of hospital. Oh, it's about time I had one. I can't believe I haven't had one for a month. Let's have a double. It started. I rarely have one now. Like I say, when I come out of, I haven't had a drink at all since I came out of hospital. I was too worried about that pain coming back, but I'm only gonna have one. Oh, this is really hard going at the moment, so price is so slow. So what time are we now? 28. So if I put that back to there, it's taken an hour and a half just to print that. Unbelievable. God, that's so. Just can't do nothing here at the moment. It may just shoot down, take out stops there and possibly there. Or it could shoot up. It's broken above there. Next stop's probably up here, 2 legs up. It's just, we could have a leg and this thing could come flushing down. Let's flick over to the 500 tick chart, have a look, see if that's showing us move down with 2 legs up. So we got that move down. It's just hard to say at the moment. See, I think, although it's looking like that, longs are vulnerable, I think. If this thing comes flushing down, does look like it's working up. Trouble is, when it does this so slowly, in my opinion, it sucks in longs and all of a sudden, woof, down it comes. So we've got this move down and this very slow drag up. And often I expect that to come down, have a flush down. So I think there's a good chance we could get this, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Or it could just go up. Trouble is, the slower it goes up, quicker it comes down, and that's what concerns me. I mean, it's looking, we're seeing these big bull bars, but I just don't trust that when it does this. I don't trust it. Now, perhaps that's me being a bit paranoid, but because of how the signal bar is inside the big red one as a double bottom, basically. I think the best thing to do is just to be cautious and stay out. All right, okay, so let's have a look at Mr. Wade here. So, all right, I was considering one more higher low, but it's right around my break time. Okay, signal bar is weak. So I've got this like that with a break, and it may work up, but it's doing it so slowly, I don't trust that there's enough buyers to prop price up. So I have a feeling that this thing could drop down. Now, it may not, but when I get that feeling, it's born out of experience and stuff happening before. So I tend to, you get that feeling, don't you, that gut feeling. And I think when you get that gut feeling, if it doesn't feel right, the best thing to do is just to leave it. Now, you may be being a bit overcautious, but I always think you're better off being on the side of caution rather than the side of careless. Well, clearly, there is a slight upward bias, but it's clearly finding it difficult to get up. It's not strong enough. And that probably might be because we're into all-time highs. So you just never know when this thing is just going to drop. Now, I could be completely wrong. It may go right up. You don't know, but when it's going up at that angle, at that speed, which is super slow, I just don't trust it. And that comes from painful experience and thinking, all right, we're going up here. We've got to make a new high if it's this. And all of a sudden it sucks in longs, and then whoosh, liquidity. And then you may get buyers in pushing, or it could just do whatever. So when this happens, just drink. I'll tell you what, you can say a lot about the Scots, but they don't half make a fine drink. Up. Come on. Come on then. Come on then. Come on then. I can't see a lot in the way of liquidity here. There may be some there, 2 pushes up, but it's a bit congested, so I can't see that's a great place to sell. So it does concern me. We get a few attempts to push up, down this thing comes. Ah, that's kind of what I was expecting. Well, it's not done it yet, but that's looking pretty significant. Sideways, suck it in long, whoosh, and we come. Now it may not, but it's kind of what, when it's doing this, that slow, it's kind of what I'm expecting. Just nothing you can do here, really. Chop, 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 chop. So let's have a look. 4 o'clock here. Where are we now? An hour and 40 minutes. That's crazy, isn't it? Drinking dip. I'm only having one. I've got about 3 singles here. You can legally drive on that in the UK. That's all I'll have. I can drink 2/3 of a bottle of whiskey and still be pretty fine. I don't anymore, but I could do. As I say, that's the first drink I've had since I came out of hospital a month ago. So I thought I'd just treat myself today. God, this is so slow. Is it froze again or is it just slow? No, it's still moving. Trouble is, when you're at all-time highs, it's just hard to know what people want to do. I'd say from an investor's point of view, this is the last place you really want to buy. Now, having said that, if you've got a pension or you put money into a pension and you've got a company that follow a pension, they just trying to buy as and when. I mean, in my opinion, the S&P 500 is that good an investment, a long-term investment. You're better off buying here than kind of waiting because you never know what you're going to miss. But what I love about, I think, over the last, I'm not sure how long it's been, but I did read somewhere, I think over the last 20 years, the S&P 500 has averaged about 10% growth per year. Over the last 10 years, it's averaged about 14%. But what a great thing to invest in, really. You're kind of following the best of the best. And what I love about it is with all that stuff with the tariffs, I think it dropped about 18%. It recovered to all-time highs in less than 3 months. So that just tells what a good investment it is. And obviously a drop of 18%. What a great time to buy. We're going to come out of it. The Trump and the tariffs, that's not going to go on forever. Markets go down and down and down and people start to panic. Trump eases back, whatever happens, price recovers. So what a great time to invest. Up here, maybe not so good. But I've got all my pension. There's not a huge amount in there. I think there may be about 90,000 at last look, but you always seem to get more growth in the US than you do in the UK. This is slow. I mean, you could argue this is a triple test. 3 points. I'm guessing this thing's going to come down. 1, 2, 3. It's tempting. Does look like it's working. That was why I stayed out of all that looking like it was going up, because you got, if you're gonna pull back here, and I'd have a go at that short maybe. I was very tempted there. I nearly kind of dropped in an order there for a pullback, but we'd already kind of come and gone then. I would be very tempted to get in there on a limit order. Push down. I can't see. We'd have to get down there, I would suggest. Let's say there for argument's sake. So if I could get in there on a limit order, that would give me enough points. I don't think we're going to...
Order submitted.
Channel down with a break. If I can get out there, that would give me my 3 points. But let's go for a tick higher. No, I haven't, bud. Well, I'll tell a lie. I took one earlier that I lost, but fortunately I rolled over, but I didn't change the date on my Replicanto, so I took one trade and lost about $130. But fortunately, the other 11 I had saved me a loss. So, so yeah, I kind of got lucky really. So leg and a leg. I should have got an ear. I was so tempted. I should have done. I'd have probably. Would I have been out by then? Let me have a look. So we're down here. So I'd have to get 3.2. So I'd have to get down here below these. I would say we're struggling to get up. 1, 2, 3, triple test. I think this is coming down below there. I need to get out there 3 points. So if we can get a pullback here, channel down with a pullback to the EMA, I'll take that on a limit order. I don't mind taking it on a limit order because that's a tick higher than I would have got in. And I'd still be in this trade anyway, so if we can get that little pullback, then I don't mind. In fact, I'm going to get in a tick early because if we do it that level, we'll break back. In fact, let's just get in there.
Order submitted.
Mind. It's not a huge risk. If we can get below there and there, so I don't mind that. Struggling to get it. I think this is going to flush down. It may pull back a little bit, but I'd rather just get in. 2 legs up, 2 legs down. It's not a huge risk. 3 and a, is that 3 1/4 point? Something like that. 75, 6, 7, 8. 3 and 3, 3 and 3.5, 3 3/4. We've broken down below there. I think that and that will clear this out. So we're really struggling to get up. Big bearish bar. I think this will go down. You got your stoppers to take profit of you. 2 legs up. I think this is coming down. Little leg down with a slight pullback. We'll see. See, what I'm looking here is a break to push you to a new high. We got a channel down. We made a bunch of attempts. That to me, 1, 2, 3 looks like a triple test. It's a big bearish bar. It's took out that stop, that stop. I think that's vulnerable as well. Now, if we get so far down, nearly to here, I'm going to bring my stop down anyway. Leg and a leg. There's going to be, let's have a look. I'm just going to go for 2 points. I don't know where that might hold. If I go for 75, that's going to be 150 on me watts. I'm down a little bit, but let's just go for 2 points. I think there's another. Leg. I can see it coming down to there. I can. We'll see. Four, 5. Let's go for 1 3/4. I think. I'm not sure whether because but let's go for 6 ticks, 4.5. Hold on a minute. That's 6 ticks, isn't it? 4. No. 6 ticks. Let's go for 6 ticks. I think it'll break these levels. That might be a triple test, so it may struggle to get below there. I don't know. I still think it will.
Target filled.
Okay, why am I not out? Flat and all. Yes.
Order
It's
filled.
happening a lot, that is now. Oh, I got an extra tick on some of my accounts that work well. It's happening a lot, that is now. I'm not getting out all the time. The only thing I can think of, it's because this computer. So Yeah, it didn't work very well, that for some reason. My Apex PA accounts, I got 2 contracts. I made $56 on my Traderify accounts. I should have made double that, and I've only made $75, so I'm a couple of ticks out there. So the only thing I can think of is, for some reason, I'm not getting out of my positions quick enough. Now, I've been watching this. There's a computer place in the US which seems to be popular with traders. It's called Easy Trader. It did work that anyway. It's called Easy Trader, and I watched that guy a few times. He's a trader, and also he's got a trading computer company. And he says you want to be benchmarking a bare minimum of 25,000, ideally 60,000 and above. Mine bench is at 22,000, which is 3,000 lower than he thinks the bare minimum. But he thinks if you want to compete and get the correct price, blah, 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 you need to be benching at 60,000 plus. And I'm not getting it for some reason. I don't know why. So that's the trade I lost earlier, trading 1. But I'm trading these accounts. They're all at different levels. I'm trading, these accounts are about 50 odd. These I'm trading 2 contracts at 75. So I'm getting, they're not closing at the same price for some reason, and I don't know why. Two, three. Yeah, they're all closing at different spots for some reason. So I like that. That's struggling to get up. Clearly, you get big bearish bar. For me, that's coming down. I like to think it's going to get below there, but I was more concerned than it getting below there. So I took 6 ticks, which is still okay. So it did work in the end, but there you go. So we have a break, 2 push up to a new high. We move down. We make 1, 2, 3. Looks like a triple test. Big bearish bar. You like to think that's coming down. Perhaps I should have just left it, but let's have a look. I've got yours. I should get to the bottom. So I scalped out short in the big red bar at the top. Worked the deal with him and get an affiliate code. Work a deal with him and get an affiliate. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. So it did work anyway. So it looks like we're getting this second leg down. So channel break, 2 pushes up. So what did I get there? Oh, it was 6 ticks. But it didn't work out 6 ticks for some reason. Point and a half. It does actually, yeah. I think it's about 50% more. I don't quite know why actually. When I've taken a few trades, I've wondered why I've paid so much. It is a bit odd. But yeah. Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it? So let me just yeah, I don't quite know why. Okay, 2 legs up, 2 legs down, but I want to go long here. Not really just yet. Because it's played out. There is a couple of legs, I think, really. See, this might be a good call for a penguin trade. In fact, let's have a look, see if anybody's thinking about this. Could I ask you about Apex Power? Absolutely, mate. What do you want to know? I'll tell you one thing I will say about Apex Payouts. If you follow the rules, you get paid. If you don't follow the rules, you don't. But what I like about it is when they refuse you, all you got to do is trade for 8 more days and you're golden. So I've been turned down for payments. Absolutely. 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 So 2 legs down. So channel break, new high. So if you got this thing up, we certainly could push up from there. My funny future was 5. Apex about $4 something. It's quite a bit more than that with it's quite a bit more than that with Traderfy. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. I think it's like 6. I think it's 50% more. It's tempting to go long there. And a little double bounce. Get a little bit of a. If we get a high low from me, I may have a go at that. It's not a huge. It's actually not. It's only 7 ticks. It's not huge. See if we get a higher low here. We've had a mez leg down. We found some support here. It does look like a correction to me, but until I get some sort of safer confirmation, I don't want to have a go at it just yet. We've got a bounce there, another bounce there. You may argue that's a triple test 1-2. I don't think so. That looks like one move to me. Yeah, so it's just under $4, isn't it? I think it's about $6, maybe a bit more with Traderfy. See if we can get a higher low. If we get a higher low, we've got a channel down there with a leg and a break. Failed break out of this. I think that's worth a go. So I'm just going to get an order ready. But I won't take it unless we get a higher low. I like the way we've got some support there. breakout. Yeah, I know Dan's got this as a bit of a chop. My second request, not the first. Got another email at 5 p.m. last night sent, but only requested a payment from the account on the 5th, and then another request on the 8th. Got 2 different emails stating both approved on the 9th. Reason. Yeah, sometimes they'll approve them quick. Other times they'll take a bit of time. I've had them take 4 days before. I think it was, I requested about $6,000 once 4 months ago, and they took 4 days. And the longer it took, the more But my honest opinion, and I'm on my hand on my heart, on the life of my daughter, if you follow the rules, they pay you, and that's what I love. Now I understand, like any company, they'll try not to get out of payment, but if you break the rules, I understand them saying we're not paying you. It's perfectly fine. They're a company. They're designed to make money. So if you break the rules, makes perfect sense. Why would they give you the money? But if you follow the rules, you get paid. Until they don't pay me when I follow the rules, I'll stay with them. The day that they don't pay me, they can't give me a reason, and I know I follow the rules, is the day I'll walk away. But I swear on the life of my daughter, I've never had a payment denied when I follow the rules. You know me, you guys know me, I've had my issues with trades before and taking risks and stuff like that. But hand on heart, and in all honesty, I don't make, some may go, well, yeah, you make affiliates. Trust me, I made $400 last month. So far this month, I'm up to $250. That's less than £200. If you're making tens of thousands, I understand people lying, but I wouldn't use them if they didn't pay me. And the reason they pay me is I follow the rules. And when I don't follow the rules, and I've had plenty of refusals, trust me, but I know they were coming. In fact, I've had a couple of payments where I broke the rules and they still paid me. So I consider myself lucky. So one of the main things I like about Apex is they have really good deals and you can pass them in a day, and I like that. And I know how they work. I know all the ins and outs. Don't get me wrong, I make a bit of money on affiliates, but lately it averages $300 to $400. A year and a half ago, it was averaging $1,000 to $1,200, but it's less and less, and I get it. But hand on heart, I'm not going to bullshit you, and I'm not going to lie to you. If you follow the rules, they'll pay you. Now, I know a lot of people don't follow the rules, and me included. We all do stupid stuff from time to time, and it happens. You got approved, but only one request. I only received one payment, and it was for my second request on the 1st. I took requested a payment from one account of the 5th, then another request on the 8th, and got 2 different emails stating both approved on the 5th. Okay, so you had them both approved. Yeah. I don't know sometimes. I've had them approved. I've applied from overnight and had them approved 6 hours later, and they've taken 4 days. Yeah. So, yeah, so you had them both approved. I don't know why they do that sometimes. I suppose it depends how busy they are. Yeah, there's no rhyme nor reason sometimes. I suppose it depends how busy they are. What I like is people like Take Profit Trader and Tradeify pay really quickly. So the good thing about having companies out there with really good rules and regulations and quick payments is it puts pressure on everyone else to pay. Now, when I started trading with Apex, you had to trade for 25 days before you could have a payment. Now you've got to trade for 8. So, things are much quicker now. You had to trade for 7 days on an evaluation. Now you can trade. So with all the new companies going out there, it does put pressure on, let me just get rid of that. It does put pressure on a lot of these other companies to up their game in keep. You know, you have multiple supermarkets, you get cheap milk, cheap eggs, cheap bread. So that's the good thing. And I believe Traderify pay within 2 hours, which is good. But you know, there you go. Have you always got paid for approvals? If I've been approved for something, absolutely. 100%. On, you know, I swear on my daughter's life, if I've been approved, I've been paid. Absolutely. I've never not been paid. You're welcome, mate. Trust me now, I know I make a bit on affiliates. It averages $400 a month, which is about £300 or less. Now, it's not enough money for me to stay with a company that doesn't pay me, because if they don't pay you, you're going to lose a damn sight more than $300-400 a month. So I stay with Apex because I know how they work and I know they pay me, and they pay me if I follow the rules. But the beauty is, and I've done it plenty of times, traded one single account, panicked, it's gone $12, $14, $15, $1,800 in the red, and then come back into the green, and I've taken it to payment, and I have a little, yeah, I'll show you. If I know an account has been risked, let me have a look. Okay, so you're probably not going to be able to see this, but if I say this account here, so failed. So if that account is failed, I put a mark down here, and I know I've got to trade that for 8 days. That's paid, that's failed. So another paid, these are all paid, that's paid, and that was back in February. So if I've taken a risk above the $750, I know it. And what I do then is put a little note for 8 days, and every day I make a mark of it. And then when I apply for after 8 days, they pay you. Trust me, they do. So don't worry about that side of it. I'm not saying use Apex. Use whatever company you like. You know, they've all got their merits. They all pretty much pay. So whatever you prefer, and whatever you're welcome, mate. Whatever you prefer. You know, yes, I make a bit of an affiliate on what's it, but I'm not going to tell you to trade something just so I get a few quid. Don't do that. Trade whatever you feel comfortable. I know Karina's not an Apex fan. I know she likes Take Profit Trader. I still hear about a lot of people trading Top Step, but then I hear bad things about Top Step. You can only use their own platform and stuff, but you know, trade what you prefer, what you like the sound of, and don't listen to anybody else. Verse 25. Absolutely, that's another benefit with Apex. You can earn up to $25,000 from one account before you start to pay them 10%. It doesn't happen with other companies. For instance, Traderify, I know when I withdraw from Traderify, I know I'm going to be withdrawing $10,000 on 5 accounts, but I know I'm only going to get 9. So that's one thing I like about Apex. I like the sound of Take Profit Trader, but if you pay $105, yes, if you pass it, you don't have to pay anything else. But if you fail it, it's cost you $105 for an evaluation, which is expensive. So there are certain criteria of traders that should use Apex, and there are certain criteria traders that may be better using Traderify and Top Step. It depends on you. I wouldn't say newer traders. I'd stay well away from Traderify and well away from Take Profit Trader, and stick with things like Apex that are cheap. I mean, a week and a half ago, Apex had 90% off, and the PA fees were $85. And the PA fees for the 150, 200, 250 and 300 were $37. It's crazy how cheap they are. So when they're that price, that's when I take advantage of them, because I'm confident if I play things the right way, I get paid. I don't know what the hell's going on here. 1, 2, 3. What I will say is cheap evaluations can promote risk taking. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to name names. I know Bollinock's cheap. I know Apex are cheap. They tend to be the cheapest. They can get you into bad habits. But you also get the fact that it's cheaper. So it swings and roundabouts. It depends on you. I know I've spent way more money than I probably should have done. If I trade my Traderify accounts, I take much care of them. I trade one contract on those. The PA accounts, you can see here, the Traderify accounts, one contract, PA accounts, two contracts. So I'm much more careful with my Traderify accounts because they cost a lot more. So it goes without saying, the more value something has. Why are you running around in circles? Wilson. The more value something has, the more care you take with it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Up. Up. Come on. Ready. Come on. Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah, you've got to take care with the things that cost more money. But, you know, for Bullanox, Apex, for the newer traders who are just slowly starting to get into prop firms, I think are ideal. So what is going on here? Yeah, that's the normal price. That's what it's always been, 140. It went for a phase recently of being 85. It went for a phase of a few weeks being 85. Sometimes it's been 130. But that's the normal price, 130. But I don't mind paying that bit extra for the PA fee because I know then you're into the realms of earning money. But I prefer the 80 and 90% offs for the evaluation because I take less care of those. So, what are we doing here? Let me have a look at bookmap. So, bookmap. 67, there's buyers down at 67. My gut feeling is this may... it's all right. It may be reversing. We're into all-time highs, see, so do you really want to buy into all-time highs? We've had we've broken all-time highs there with that move up. We've had a break here, two pushes up. We've made multiple attempts to push higher, but do you really want to put your money into the S&P 500 right up here? I'd say probably no. So I'd expect a reasonable size pullback. So I don't know how far we'll pull back. We may pull back. It's hard to say. We may find some support and push higher, but wow, it's 20 past 6. I've been trading for nearly 4 hours on the stream. God, that's gone quick. Yeah, I'm really surprised here. I'm trading these on one contract and my Apex PAs on two contract. So look at that should be double that, and it's not. I'm really getting some slippage there for some reason. Don't quite know why that's happening. It must be. So, leg and a leg. See if we get something down here. Okay, I think I'm about done for today. So I am up anyway. 75, 75, 375, 475, 575. I'm up around about $600 total over my accounts. So it's not the worst day in the world anyway. Green's green, so it's not so bad. So I'll leave you guys to it. So where are we today? Monday, aren't we? So I'll be back tomorrow. Normal time tomorrow. So best of luck to you. You're done. Best of luck. I'll leave you guys to it. Have a great evening. Stay safe and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.